But with Celebrini, if they make the playoffs, I don't see how he can't win or why he shouldn't win the MVP at this point. So I have the three other players that I have in the running
Okay.
for this, and this is my take on why
All right, let's hear it.
Again, if they make the playoffs, I think they have to make it for him to
Yeah.
get it. But you have Celebrini, McDavid, Nikita Kucherov in Tampa Bay, and then Nathan McKinnon for the Avalanche.
Right.
So we'll start with McDavid. McDavid, best player in the world, in my opinion. I don't think there's much arguing that. But like we said, Celebrini's got 105 points, 226 of the. He has 105 points out of the 226 total goals the Sharks have. So he's scored or assisted on 46%
Wow.
of the Sharks'
I saw
goals.
that. That's crazy.
McDavid is the only other person that's slightly above him, and he's at 47%. So he has 126 points. McDavid does. But this is where I feel like Celebrini gains ground because of the point differential. You have Leon Draisaitl for the Edmonton Oilers, who is universally known as maybe even a top five, but for sure top 10 player in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He's great. And I think obviously McDavid makes him better. I think he makes McDavid better. But he just got injured a couple of weeks ago. He's out for the rest of the regular season. But in his 65 games this year, he has 97 points. Draisaitl does. Evan Bouchard, who's a defenseman, has 87 points as a defenseman. Zach Hyman has 31 goals this year. So obviously McDavid is the driver of that bus. He makes everything go, but he has, and they have other guys who are producing, but these are just some of the top guys.
Yeah.
He has help around him. He has a top 10 player with Draisaitl, an elite defenseman in Bouchard, probably a top 5 defenseman, and then a 30-goal scorer. You move over to Nikita Kucherov in Tampa Bay, 124 points, so just below McDavid. He's assisted or scored on 46% of their goals, so same with Celebrini. He has Getzel, who has 36 goals, 83 points this year, who was on the Olympic team for Team USA, won gold, and historically has been a very good goal scorer throughout his 10-year career. So he's been a very good player. Brendan Hagel has 35 goals, 73 points. And then they have this guy, Radish, who Sharks might look at this offseason because he's a free agent. As a defenseman, he has 20 goals this year. They have dealt with some injuries. So their defensive player, Victor Hedman's been out for most of this year. So I think that's why Kucherov has put himself in that talks as well because they've had some injuries.
I see.
But again, he's got guys around him that are helping him. McKinnon in Colorado, 121 points out of 280, 43%. Martin Necas on that team has 92 points. Cale Makar, who's the best defenseman in the world, 75 points. And Brock Nelson, 33 goals. And again, other guys who are producing.
Who's the second leading scorer for the Sharks?
Well, that's what I'm going to get to right now.
Right.
So that's what I'm going to get to. So I want to also say with Colorado, they are a juggernaut. So Brent Burns, Sharks fan favorite, is on Colorado. Brent Burns, even at 40 years old, would probably be our best defenseman, for sure our second best, but probably first. He is the third best overall defenseman for Colorado. He's not even on their top line, and that includes them having the best defensive player in the world. Now, Celebrini, 105 points. We mentioned that. The second most points on the team is Will Smith, who also missed a few games. He missed 13 games. He has 54 points.
Wow. How many goals?
21?
Okay.
21 or 22. One of those two.
Wenberg is third on the team?
Wenberg's third with 51 points.
Okay.
Orlov, who has the most points of the defensive group, has 33 points and 3 goals.
Wow.
The most goals from a defenseman is John Klingberg, who is not even playable right now. During this win streak, he hasn't even played because his defense is so garbage.
Yeah.
He has 10 goals. And he also, in the last 3 years, has played like a total of like 50 games. He's had like 2 hip surgeries.
Okay.
He's basically been non-existent as a player in 3 years.
I see.
So the fact that this team, and again, the Pacific is bad, I totally admit that. The fact that Celebrini is dragging this team, and on top of it, I haven't even gone through goaltending. The Sharks' goaltending is okay.
Right.
Like they have some good numbers, they have some good stretches, but we'll talk about Askarov in a little bit in Nedeljkovic because I do want to get into that. But when you look at the team around Celebrini, he's dealing with average goaltending, maybe slightly above average. Definitely a bottom three defensive core in the league. You could probably argue first, but definitely bottom three. And you have players like Tyler Toffoli who have had down years. William Macklin hasn't produced a lot offensively, scoring the puck. And Will Smith is his running mate. And his other line mates that he's had have been Colin Graff, who's had a career year. Again, a lot to do with Celebrini.
Right.
And a guy who I really love, Igor Chernyshov, who they just brought up from the Barracuda, who's 20 years old and has played a total of probably 25 games in the NHL.
Okay.
So you're not playing Celebrini. His line mates aren't 30 goal guys or,
Right.
Olympic final or players on Team USA. Like he's playing with a bunch of solid young guys who are relying on a 19-year-old to get it done. So when you look at most valuable player, if you take Celebrini off this team, they are by far the worst team in the NHL. By
Right.
far. Like they probably have, I think they have 79 points right now.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yes.
They probably have 40,
Hmm.
45 maybe.
That is crazy.
If you take them off this team, they're nothing. So it's like when I see if you take McDavid, Kucherov, McKinnon off those teams, of course they're worse. You'd be dumb to say they're not, but like I still think that Colorado could probably make the playoffs. They wouldn't be a great playoff team, but they could probably make the playoffs even without McKinnon.
Uh-huh. The only counter I would say is that goal percentage, or goals and assists percentage that you said for he scored or assisted on
46.
47%,
Yeah.
46%. That number is probably skewed a little bit by him having not as much support, right? Because like a team that has depth, has good second lines, and has more depth, more alternative scorers. It's good that their best player is going to have a lower percentage, not because they're performing any worse, but just because they have more help,
So I agree with that.
right?
My only counter to that though is imagine how many more points and assists he would have if he had
Yeah, that's a good point
a
too.
go-to. Because again, their power play, like if you look at their power play unit, you have a defense. You have Orlov, who shouldn't be a power play defenseman. He's a solid two-way player, but he shouldn't be running a power play. You have Will Smith. Cool, I'm okay with that. Wenberg, who again up until this year has always been known to be a passer,
Hmm.
setup guy, not much of a scorer. You have Tyler Toffoli, who's taken a drop off this year, who has not been the same player. And then you have, or yeah, that's your power play.
Right.
So again, they're running everything through Celebrini. So my only thing is, if Celebrini had a Draisaitl, a Getzel, you could easily add an additional 10 points
Right.
to this year
That's a good
just
point.
off guys who are better finishers. So that's why, again, yes, his points are lower than the rest of these guys, but this year he's having is much more impressive. And again, forget the age because that speaks for itself.
Right.
But I, the fact they're even here is crazy.
Hmm.